Dear students, today we are going to discuss the geometry of molecules for various hybridizations. So in the previous video we have discussed about how we can predict the hybridization of the given molecule. So the hybridization of the given molecule can be predicted by using the formula hybridization is equal to half into number of valency electrons at the central atom plus number of monovalent atoms surrounded by the central atom minus charge of ion. So this is first one, and second one we can calculate the sum of number of sigma bonds and number of lone pair of electrons present at the central atom. So by calculating the sum of number of sigma bonds and the number of lone pair of electrons surrounded by the central atom. So now let us explain some examples by taking some examples. The first one, CH2 double bond C double bond CH2. So this is prop 1,2 diene. So in this prop 1,2 diene there are 3 carbon atoms are there. We have to calculate the hybridization for each carbon atom. So this is first carbon, second carbon and third carbon. So now let us apply the second formula for this example. So for first carbon atom the hybridization will be equal to the number of sigma bonds surrounded by this carbon. So this carbon possesses 1 sigma and 1 pi bond. 1 sigma and 1 pi bond. There are 2 hydrogen atoms are there. These 2 hydrogen atoms forms 2 sigma bonds. So around this carbon there are 2 sigma bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 sigma bond with other carbon atom. So that's why there are 3 sigma bonds, and the number of lone pair of electrons for carbon is 0. The valency of carbon is 4. Carbon forms 4 bonds, so there is no any lone pair of electrons. So that's why the sum will be equal to 3. So the hybridization will be sp2. For the second carbon the hybridization equal to sum of sigma bonds and lone pairs. So here for the central carbon the number of sigma bonds will be 2 only. This is 1 sigma, other sigma. These 2 are pi bonds. So there are 2 sigma bonds and 0 lone pairs. So sum is 2. So it will undergo sp hybridization. And for the third carbon atom the hybridization is equal to, this is third carbon. Here also there are 2 sigma bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 sigma bond with 1 carbon. So there are totally 3 sigma bonds are there and 0 lone pair of electrons are there. So it is also sp2 hybridization. So in prop 1,2 diene the terminal carbons undergoes sp2 hybridizations, whereas the central carbon undergoes sp hybridization. Now let us take another example. NH3. So NH3 means ammonia. So in ammonia nitrogen forms 3 sigma bonds with 3 hydrogen atoms. The valency of nitrogen is 5. So by using 5 electrons it forms 3 sigma bonds and 1 lone pair is present on nitrogen atom. So 3 are bond pairs and 2 electrons are present as lone pairs. So for nitrogen atom the hybridization will be equal to, here the number of sigma bonds will be 3 with 3 hydrogen atoms and 1 lone pair is there. So totally there are 4 hybrid orbitals. So the hybridization will be sp3 hybridization. Let us take another example, that is H2O, that is water. So in water, the central atom is oxygen. So here oxygen, the valence electrons are 6. So among these 6 electrons, it forms 2 bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms, and 4 electrons are present as lone pair. So 6 electrons are there. Among these 6 electrons, 2 electrons forms 2 bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms, and the remaining 4 electrons are present as 2 lone pairs. So here oxygen consists of 2 lone pairs. So for oxygen atom, hybridization equal to, so it forms 2 sigma bonds with 2 hydrogen atoms. So the number of sigma bonds will be 2 and the number of lone pairs will be 2. The sum will be 4 and the hybridization will be sp3. So in this way we can predict the hybridization for these molecules. Now let us take the geometries of the molecules. For different hybridizations, they will have different geometries. Suppose if the molecule undergoes sp hybridization, then the geometry will be linear geometry. So sp hybridization means here there are 2 hybrid orbitals are there. Those 2 hybrid orbitals will occupy 2 corners. So suppose this one is the central atom. It forms one bond with one other atom, another bond with another atom. So it forms 2 bonds with 2 atoms. So that's why the structure will be linear with bond angle 180 degrees. So this is central atom, these are the terminal atoms. Next, sp2 hybridization. For sp2 hybridization, the structure will be planar triangle. The structure will be planar triangle. So planar triangle means here there are 3 hybrid orbitals are there. These 3 hybrid orbitals will occupy at the 3 corners of a triangle. So here this is the central atom. The 3 atoms occupies the 3 corners of the central atom. So here by joining these 3 we get a triangle shape. So since it is planar, it is called planar triangle. And next one, sp3 hybridization. So here the bond angle will be, in triangle the bond angle will be 120 degrees. So here sp3 hybridization. sp3 means the structure will be tetrahedron. So tetrahedron means it has 4 corners. So the 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals will occupy the 4 corners of a regular tetrahedron. So here the 4 occupies at the 4 corners of regular tetrahedron. So this is the tetrahedron geometry. So this is present on plane of the paper, and these two are present above the plane of the paper, and this bond will present below the plane of the paper. So by joining these we get the geometry like this. So this is tetrahedron geometry. And sp3 dehybridization. For sp3 dehybridization, there are 1 plus 3 plus 1, total 5 hybrid orbitals are there. So these 5 hybrid orbitals will occupy the 5 corners of trigonal bipyramid structure. So that's why the resultant structure will be trigonal bipyramidal structure. So trigonal bipyramid means it forms, this is the central atom, it forms a triangle with 3 corners. So if we join these 3 corners, we have a triangle. So one atom is present above the plane of the triangle, other atom is present below the plane of the triangle. So here it is trigonal bipyramidal structure. So here it forms an apex. So it forms an apex with the base as triangle. So that's why it is called trigonal bipyramidal structure. And next one, sp3d2 hybridization. So in case of sp3d2 hybridization, 1 plus 3 plus 2, there are 6 hybrid orbitals are there. These 6 hybrid orbitals will occupy 6 corners of octahedron. octahedron means it has 6 corners. So this is central atom. Four corners are there in one plane, that is 4 atoms occupies the 4 corners of a square, and above the plane of the square one atom will present, and below the plane of the square another atom will be present. So in this way octahedron means it is a square bipyramid. So octahedron is also called as square bipyramid. So here the 4 atoms forms a square. So above the plane of the square one atom will be there, below the plane of the square another atom will be there. So that's why it is a square bipyramidal structure. And next one, sp3 dehybridization. So in sp3 dehybridization there are 7 hybrid orbitals are there. So these 7 hybrid orbitals forms pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. So it forms a pentagonal bipyramid structure. So here pentagon bipyramid means this is the central atom and it forms a pentagon ring with 5 corners. So 5 atoms occupies the corners of a pentagonal ring. So this is a pentagon. So 5 atoms occupies the corners of pentagonal ring, and 2 atoms occupies, one is above the plane of the pentagonal ring and other one is present below the plane of the pentagonal ring. So in this way for sp3d3 hybridization the resultant structure will be pentagonal bipyramidal structure. So here in case of tetrahedron structure the bond angle will be 109 degrees 28 minutes. In case of trigonal bipyramidal structure, so here the bond angle will be 120 degrees and 90 degrees. Here it is perpendicular to the plane of the triangle, so it is 90 degrees. Here also 90 degrees, and the bond angle between these two bonds is 180 degrees. So here in case of trigonal bipyramidal structure there are 3 types of bond angles exist. One is 180 degrees between these two, and 90 degrees and 120 degrees. So in case of trigonal bipyramidal structure there exist 3 types of bond angles. They are 180, 90 and 120 degrees. In case of octahedron there exists 90 degrees. The bond angle is 90 degrees. So anywhere the bond angle will be 90 degrees. So since this is forms square and these are perpendicular to the plane of the square, so here the bond angle is 90, here is also 90, here is also 90, and in between these two the bond angle will be 180. And in case of pentagonal bipyramidal structure the bond angle will be slightly decreases than 120, that is nearly 118 degrees, and these two are perpendicular to plane of the pentagonal ring, so that's why there exist 90 degrees also. So these are the different geometries for different hybridizations. So in general the hybridization is like this, the geometry will be like this. So there is some deviations if there exists any change in the atoms. That means if any one of the corner occupies lone pair of electrons, if any one of the atoms is replaced by lone pair of electrons, then the geometry will be changed. So that is according to valency shell electron pair repulsion theory. So according to valency shell electron pair repulsion theory, the geometry of the molecule will be deviated. Suppose if you take NH3 molecule, so for NH3 generally it will undergo sp3 hybridization. It should undergo sp3 hybridization. For sp3 hybridization the geometry will be tetrahedron. Due to presence of one lone pair, it occupies nitrogen and 3 hydrogens occupies at the 3 corners of pyramid, and the lone pairs are present at the apex of the pyramid. So the structure changes to pyramidal structure. So here for ammonia molecule it should be tetrahedron geometry, but due to presence of this lone pair of electrons it changes to pyramid structure. So according to this valency shell electron pair repulsion theory, if there is any lone pair of electrons occupies any one of the corners, like these corners, if any lone pair of electrons occupies any one of these corners, then the structure will be deviated so as to get more stability. So to get stability, the structure will be deviated. So the lone pair should occupy less repulsive structure. So in this way, there is a deviation from the normal bond angles and normal structure also. Here actually the bond angle should be 109 degrees 28 minutes for tetrahedron geometry, but it will change it from 109 degrees 28 minutes to 107 degrees 107 degrees. And for H2O, if you consider water, there exists two lone pair of electrons for oxygen. Here also it undergoes sp3 hybridization, since the number of sigma bonds is 2 and the number of lone pairs is 2, so totally 4. So the hybridization will be sp3. So the structure will be, it should be tetrahedron, but it changes to angular shape like this. One lone pair is present below the angle, other lone pair is present above the angle. So that's why the bond angle also changed. So it will be changed to angular structure. So the bond angle is changed from 109 degrees 28 minutes to, it changed to 104 degrees 30 minutes. So here, so generally for ammonia molecule there should be tetrahedron geometry, but it will be changed to pyramidal structure. For a water molecule, generally it should possess tetrahedron structure, but there is a deviation from normal tetrahedron structure, it changes to angular structure. And let us consider another example, XeF4, xenon tetrafluoride. So in case of xenon tetrafluoride, the hybridization will be sp3 d2 hybridization, because xenon, the number of valence electrons for xenon is 8. Here the number of valence electrons are 8. So here it forms 4 bonds with 4 fluorine atoms. So 4 electrons are utilized. So here the remaining 4 electrons will present as 2 lone pairs. The remaining 2 electrons will present as 2 lone pairs. So the number of sigma bonds is 4 and the number of lone pairs is 2. 2 lone pairs plus 4 sigma bonds. 4 plus 2 6. That means sp3d2 hybridization. So for sp3d2 hybridization, the structure should be octahedron, but the structure will deviate from normal octahedron to another structure. The structure will be like this, xenon, and 4 fluorine atoms will occupy the 4 corners of a square, and the lone pairs will present at the perpendicular positions, that is at axial positions. So the perpendicular positions are called axial positions. That means these 4 fluorine atoms are present at the 4 corners of a square, and the lone pairs will present at the 2 perpendicular planes. One is above the plane, other one is below the plane of the square. So that's why it will be less repulsive, that means it is more stable. So that's why the structure will change to square planar. Actually it should be octahedron, but due to presence of these 2 lone pair of electrons, it will be changed to square planar geometry. And next one, if you consider ClF3, this is one of the interhalogen compound, ClF3. So chlorine, number of valence electrons is 7. So among these 7 electrons, 3 electrons forms bonds with 3 fluorine atoms, and the remaining 4 electrons will present as lone pairs like this. So here the number of sigma bonds is 3 and the number of lone pairs is 2 plus 3 plus 2. So totally 5. 5 means it should have sp3 dehybridization. So for sp3 dehybridization, the structure will be 3 plus 1 plus 1, 5. 5 means the structure will be trigonal bipyramidal structure. Trigonal bipyramid. the structure should be trigonal bipyramid, but it changes to most stable configuration, that is most stable structure. So it will be like this: Cl, the two lone pairs will be present like this. So here this is trigonal bipyramidal structure. So if you turn this molecule like this, then we got trigonal bipyramidal structure. So these fluorine atoms are present at axial position. Axial position means perpendicular to the plane. So these two are at the axial position, and these lone pairs are present at equatorial positions. These are equatorial position. So this will be the more stable form if they are present at the equatorial positions. If the lone pairs are present at the equatorial positions, then it will be more stable form. So in this way it has T shape. So ClF3 has T shape. And next one, XeF6, xenon hexafluoride. So in case of xenon hexafluoride, xenon is the central atom, so it has 8 electrons in their valency shell. So among these 8 electrons, 6 electrons form 6 bonds with 6 fluorine atoms, and the remaining 2 electrons will be present as lone pairs. So here number of sigma bonds is 6 and one lone pair is there. 6 plus 1 means 7. So 7 means it should undergo sp3d3 hybridization. For sp3d3 hybridization, the structure should be pentagonal bipyramidal structure. So the structure should be pentagonal bipyramid, but it changes from this pentagonal bipyramidal structure to more stable structure, that is like this. Xenon is present at the center and 6 fluorines are present at the 6 corners of an octahedron. Six corners of an octahedron. If you join these, we got an octahedron, and one lone pair is present perpendicular to the plane of the octahedron. So here there is a distorted octahedron structure. Distorted octahedron geometry. So for xenon hexafluoride, the structure will be distorted octahedron structure. So in this way we can predict the geometry of the molecules. Thank you. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.